It's a long way down. It's a long way down. It's a long way down. And he knows. Tell me, swallow. Have a wife, but she don't show. Give me what you can. I just want to be your man.
I've never really, was never really into folk very much, like folk. And the definition of folk is changing every day, and there are people who don't consider us folk, there are people who sort of consider us folk. And I think it's more of a coincidence that we ended up performing this kind of music. It just kind of is born as it is, and then someone else classifies it.
Yeah, a lot of the bands on this roster that I saw, like Elvis Costello and Tegan and Sara, you know, I never would have necessarily put them in the same box of people, but I think the thing that keeps people coming back to what they want to call folk music or what they are calling folk music is a certain sense of vulnerability. I think these musicians, what they have in common is allowing themselves to be vulnerable to their audiences, and it's not about appearances, it's not about kind of the hypothetical, grandiose side of the music industry that is slowly crumbling around us as we speak. But they're just putting it out there. They're putting themselves on the line, and people respond to that positively. And that's a good place to be. I feel like we do that as much as we can, anyway.
Until you, I leave this timeless land, unresolved, unbroken, since I've been home, since I've been home. God, what have I become?
I feel like commercially, like there's always this ebb and flow of like simple guy or girl with her guitar, then I'm tired of that, let's get bigger, expand, oh now we're into the machismo, like grab my balls, blah, and then somebody's like, I'm tired of that, I want to go back to the simple. And even as far back as 2001, it's like yeah, it was like everything. You had like boy bands, you had all this other stuff, and then everybody was like, oh now I just want like leather jacket rock from the Strokes, blah, and then the record labels crumbled, and then after a while it was like with technology grew, and now people were forced to just do acoustic guitars or whatever, simple things, but now with more technology they're creating grander sonic landscapes.
The ease in creating music and putting out yourself and making your own label, all the things that no one would ever think of doing in 2001. Because of that, so much music is being created that genre upon genre is just being unearthed that we've never heard before. That either you can, and we just kind of want to label stuff. We want to label stuff and call it something, and so we have this huge surgence of this new folk, avant folk, chamber pop folk, chamber folk, pop.
And I guess it's kind of like, it's going to be tough
when we. Like folk.
It's going to be tough now because it's like when you fill out those voting or like medical history application things, like, and they're like, what's your ethnicity? And it's like, now everybody's like, oh, I'm Chinese, but I'm also Caucasian, and my dad is from Africa crap. And eventually everybody's gonna become like the same weird color. But yeah, it's like everybody's stealing from like, not stealing, but everybody's taking from so many different genres that now it's gonna be like, I don't know what these blogs and magazines are gonna do when they run out of freaking categories and stuff like that.
People want music that they can sing along with and feel connected to. And there's a certain amount that looking at, say, a hair metal band is really fun, and going to those concerts is like, yeah, I'm gonna rock out, it's gonna be great, and, you know, look at these amazing, glamorous people. But there's a certain amount of disconnect there, because, you know, they're on the stage, they're the glamorous, and I'm just witnessing the glamour. I'm not really necessarily, I mean, maybe people feel part of that. I personally feel a little disconnected to it. So I can see how, you know, especially, I mean, even if you think of, you know, Gothic troubadours coming from town to town, like, people would gather in these meeting halls or, like, you know, whatever, and listen to music that was being played acoustically that they could all sing along to, and it just brings people together. So, not that other types of music don't do that, but there's a certain amount of, I think the fewer instruments or the fewer sounds that are coming out, the more you can hear one another's voices being heard. And people just want to connect on a very personal level, I think. And folk is a very easy way to do that because you can, it's just all out there. There's nothing to hide behind.